Hello there. How are you guys doing today? Well, I hope you are having a fabulous day because we are about to make some fabulous soup. I am like so hyped because last week I actually made some soup for my husband when he came off of a cleanse, and I posted it on my social media and was like, who wants some of this? And he even shared it onto his social media, and there were quite a few people who were like, I want this recipe, give it, give it, give it. So I was like, okay, gotta give the people what they want, right? It is brown rice, lentil, and collard soup. Long title, yes. Do I care? No. So anyway, I'm actually going to share this recipe with you guys, and if you like it, please let me know. If you hate it, please let me know. I just want to let you in on a couple of the first things that you want to have, okay? Now, I'm not gonna pretend like I have all of this memorized and just say it to you looking at the screen. I got a piece of paper of all the ingredients that you'll need. Get all your supplies together and then we'll go through the measurements as we cook. You are going to need cumin, 1 bay leaf, 1 onion, 3 cloves of garlic, ginger, 2 green chiles, turmeric, paprika, coriander, black pepper, Creole seasoning, 2 10-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, 2 cups of veggie broth, half a teaspoon of lemon juice, 1 orange or yellow bell pepper, 1 cup of carrots, 3 celery stalks, and just get you a bag of collard greens, 1 cup of brown rice. So let's get started. I highly encourage you to watch the video first before you start to cook along with me. The first thing that you want to do is make your veggie broth. Unless you just buy it from the store, I always buy my, let me grab it. I always use my Better Than bouillon stuff. I put this in water to make my veggie broth. I've already made that, so just so you guys know, this recipe is a 1-pot recipe. Everything will be put in here. Everything will be done in here. The next thing that you want to do is actually go ahead and start cooking your brown rice. You want to cook that for at least 20 minutes. Let's do that. All right, stove time. While that is happening, you want to go ahead and chop up all of your ingredients so that everything is ready. I have cut up all of my ingredients. All of these things are segregated and I want you to see how, as far as chopping up everything. In this bowl, you're gonna have your carrots, bell pepper, and celery. In another bowl, you'll have your onions and green chiles. And in a separate little bowl, or whatever you call this thing, you will have your garlic and ginger. The reason they're separated is because all of those things are gonna be put in different times. So you don't wanna put them in one gigantic bowl. But now we can head on over to the stove, and one of the things you're going to want to take to the stove with you, your onions and chiles and your garlic and ginger. The first thing you're going to want to do is put a little bit of oil on the bottom. So now that you put the oil in the pot, go ahead and take 1 bay leaf. You can keep it together. I like to tear mine apart because my husband doesn't really like tasting them within our food. And then you can go ahead and put your onions and your chiles in there. You want to allow those to cook for approximately 3 minutes. So while the onions and the chiles are cooking for about 3 minutes, you want to go ahead and add in your teaspoon of ginger. All right, so now that this is cooking within the 3 minutes, you want to go ahead and start adding in your seasonings. Turmeric, 1 teaspoon of that, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of Creole Seasoning. Now I have a homemade one here, so I'm just gonna put that one in. Go ahead and mix all of those seasonings with your onions and chiles. And you just want your pot to be on medium heat, by the way. All right, now we can go ahead and add in the garlic and ginger. Stir that in. Next, you want to go ahead and add in your diced tomatoes. 1 can of diced tomatoes. 2nd can of diced tomatoes. So now, of course, so now that we put in the tomatoes, we're actually going to go ahead and pour in those 2 cups of veggie broth. And then, of course, you know, mix everything together. I would say let this cook in, or let this mix together for approximately 1 minute. And while it's doing it for that 1 minute, go ahead and get you a lemon. And if you want, you can just squeeze approximately 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of lemon juice, or you can actually juice this lemon and then use the measuring. Of course, you want to add a little salt in, not necessarily as a seasoning, but just throw a little in there, you know. We are going to throw all of our veggies in here. Stir those in really good. And then once you stir those kind of good, you can go ahead and add in your brown rice. There might be a little bit of water left over from the brown rice. That's perfectly fine. Also, I did not pre-season this rice or put it in any type of broth. Y'all, it's hard holding this camera while mixing, so. All right, so now that I've mixed in the brown rice good, I'm gonna pour in 2 15-ounce cans of lentils. You wanna make sure that the majority or all of that liquid that comes in the can is gone. We don't want that. Chew. So you already know what I'm gonna say next, right? Mix it. I will not show you this time. All right, so now what we're going to do is just give this 5 minutes to cook on its own, and then we'll be back for the next steps. We're going to add in collard greens, okay? So the reason why, if you look in the description, there is no specific amount of collard greens is because with this particular ingredient, I want you to put whatever is comfortable for you. I love collards. My husband really likes it. So I am going to load this sucker. Now, if you want, you can take your time and go through the collards and like pull off the stems. I did that last week, and then like halfway through, I got tired of doing it. And that's why I ended up not putting in that many collard greens. So this time around, and by the way, these are washed and ready to go. This time around, I am not removing that, but I'm gonna use my tongs to try to push it down in there and also twirl it up. Bird's eye view here for a second. I'm gonna put in another huge handful, get that mixed in. And by this point, go ahead and put the stove on low. Reason being is because this food is still cooking and we have rice in here. The brown rice to be specific. Now that takes time to cook, but we don't want to overcook it. Now I'm gonna show you guys 2 optional ingredients that I put in here. The first one, almond milk. There is no measurement. You literally just pour some, and that's it. It's a dash of it, right? And the other ingredient that I love adding in my dishes, you guys know, in almost every dish, there are flax seeds. I'm gonna put about 4 tablespoons of flax seeds. The only thing left to do is to taste it and see what other seasonings you may or may not want to add. So by this point, usually I grab the onion powder, garlic powder, and parsley. I don't really measure. I just sprinkle them on in there. Maybe that was a teaspoon. I don't know. Do the same thing with the onion powder. Just throw a little parsley in there. Let me show you guys what we're looking at, by the way. So this is what we are looking at. Again, like I said, now is the time to actually taste it and see, is there anything else I want to add? Huh. It's very good. Very good. So all I'm gonna do is add a pinch of salt. I'm gonna take this off of that hot burner so it's not cooking. It's time to put it in a bowl. This is not my ideal spoon. Get you some bread and live life like it's golden. All right, so I filled it up. Here you go. So, ooh, y'all see this thing? Let me see if y'all see it. Here we go. So it has been made. Like I said, you can get you some oyster crackers, saltine crackers. You get you some bread and toss it in here. Very, very delicious stuff. I'm gonna taste it again just because I can. Very, very good. And I love that I can feel the ginger. Like, you feel the sense of it. Oh, that's so cool. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Zuko, get back! Sorry. But that is it for today, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's recipe. Please let me know if you like it. Please let me know if you dislike it. Let me know if there are any modifications that you would make, because hey, I've seen plenty of recipes that I've made modifications to. Anyway, have a magnificent day. And remember, the kitchen is one of those places where you can be the most creative.